2, 1.
Please give us your thoughts on the concert and who was your favorite singer.
Levi Cohen, Cantor Levi Cohen.
See, for me, I'm probably one of the most expensive that doesn't show up on a COL live event. Please do not bring that over here.
In Parshas Noach, the famous teaching of Chassidus that already dates back to the Baal Shem Tov Aman.
Why do the seltzer bottles not?
And he says, Boyal Ateva, the Baal Shem Tov, it's on one of the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov that are one of the points of the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov is in the Lashon of the Baal Shem Tov is Boyal Ateva. When a Jew davens, a Jew has to connect himself with the godliness that's within the words of davening and learning. The word teva, which means an art, also means words. Yeah.
Right.
He says, Soyar Tasala Teva. The Baal Shem Tov says that there's a story that they say with the Baal Shem Tov, which there's many versions of the story. But the point is that the Baal Shem Tov wanted to travel to Eretz Yisrael. Why did he want to travel to Eretz Yisrael? Because he knew that if him and the Eretz Chaim HaKadosh would meet, it was the great sage, the Eretz Chaim lived in Eretz Yisrael, he knew that if they would meet, Mashiach would come.
They were at the same time?
They lived at the same time. The Eretz Chaim passed away a few years before the Baal Shem Tov. So the way the story goes is that the Baal Shem Tov's brother-in-law, Rabbi Gershon Kittever, actually already lived in Eretz Yisrael at the time. The Baal Shem Tov asked Rabbi Gershon Kittever to ask the Eretz Chaim if he should make the journey. And the Eretz Chaim said, ask the Baal Shem Tov if he sees me when the Baal Shem Tov takes his trips, the Heicholos, the spiritual worlds, does he see the Eretz Chaim there? So he says, yeah. So he asks, does he see my whole body or not? The Baal Shem Tov said that he sees the Eretz Chaim, but he doesn't see his feet. Whatever that means. The Eretz Chaim said if that's the case, he's not going to end up meeting me. But the Baal Shem Tov, nevertheless, he knew from heaven they didn't want him to go, but he was intent on his plan to go to Eretz Yisrael. And make a long story short, he came to Istanbul, to Turkey, and there's many different versions here of the story, but basically at some point his life became in danger with pirates or whatever it might be. Not only there was a storm or this, it's various different versions to Baal Shem Tov. And
It was a storm with what?
He was on sea, he went by boat, he was traveling, and different calamities took place. I don't know, either pirates or a storm or both. Or
I got canceled.
And basically, not only that, but the Baal Shem Tov lost all his spiritual powers. From heaven they took it away, so basically he was like a very simple Jew. He knew absolutely nothing, so he had no way of even, spelling magic over here, So what did the Baal Shem Tov do? He asked he was going with his son or his student, Tzvi Sefer, whatever it was. He asked him if there's any,
His daughter?
He went with his daughter, but he was going, I think it was another individual. He said, do you remember anything? Got it from the Tzvi. I don't know if it was his son or was
he in the beginning
first year. Yeah. So basically, he asked him if he remembers anything. He says, the only thing I remember is the letters of the Aleph base. He says, tell me the letters of the Aleph base. So the Baal Shem Tov repeated the letters of the Aleph base after the thing, but when he said every letter, he lived the letter. And then just say Aleph, Baal Shem Tov's meaning was that he would connect, he would have Dveikos, he would cleave to the words of. So it says when he said the Aleph base, it was just the Aleph base, but he cleaved to them, so he was able to regain his whatever he needed to do, and be able to be saved from the impending danger that was taking place at the time. And basically, eventually, he canceled his trip. He realized it's not going to happen, and that was that. But in the Torah of the Baal Shem Tov, there's a lot of emphasis on what he calls to be dovuk in the tevus ha'Torah ha'til, to really put your whole, energy, to really cleave and really think and come into the words of davening and learning. The Baal Shem Tov says, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the Sefer Kesser Shem Tov, the Frierdiker brings down this teaching, I think, in a few places. It says Soyar Tasal Ateva. Says the Noach had to make it Soyar. He had to make a source of light, whether it was a shining stone or a window, for the table. So the Baal Shem Tov explains in the words of davening that a person davens, he has to do them in a way that become shining stones or windows that bring light in from above that they shouldn't be. And then he says that the whole thing. He also explains that the word Soyhar is the same letters of Tzara. Tzara means calamity, the stress. If you rearrange them, they spell Tsoyhar, which means shine, light. And also another rearrangement of the letters is Ritzei, that's a goodwill. So basically, if you say the letters, you go into the letters of davening and learning, you're able to rearrange that from the tzara, from negative things, should become tsoyar, should become shining things, should become very positive things as you bring out the dots of the will of Hashem. But anyway, this is in the teachings of the Baal Shem. There's a very fundamental focus and the idea of Boya Lateva coming to the ark. The Rebbe spoke about this also a number of times. The Rebbe also, Chassidus also connects it. You have a Maimer of Dal Rebbe, Maimer Rabim Leichul L'Chabes Osava. It's actually a hemshech from the Rebbe Marash, famous hemshech, a series of Maimorim from the Rebbe Marash, Maimer Rabim from the year Tov Reish Lamed Vav, which is 1876, for those that want the secular date. And it says that the Rebbe Marash said that there's a small Maimer in Torah Oyer, Mayim Rabim Leichul L'Chabes Osava, great waters cannot extinguish the love Jews have for Hashem. And he said, I saw a great light in that Maimer. And that Maimer is a whole, built up a whole hemshech. Obviously the Maimer ends, the Maimer of the Rebbe Marash, which was said over a number of many weeks, speaks about various different things. But the point that it's bringing out is that the waters of Noach represent the floods of problems that we have in this world. And you know, there's the person in life sometimes feels like he's shredding water. You know, there's all different types of problems that are seen to try to drown him. And there's a number of points here. From the first point is whatever a person is going through, it can never conquer, it can never extinguish the love that a Jew has for Hashem. All the headaches and mices, it can never take away. You know, even though it could, you know, the current of life could throw a Jew from place to place, but his love for Hashem will always remain deep down there. But the other point is, which requires a person to focus on and to work on, is that not only does the great currents of problems that a person goes through in life, not only don't they weaken his connection, his inner connection with Hashem, but on the contrary, they help it come up. You have, like by the table, it says Vatorim HaTeva, all the waters that were surging caused the teva to lift itself higher. So in other words, Chassidus says that the interesting thing, it says that a Baal Asik, a person that during the week he doesn't have 5 minutes for himself,
a businessman,
that he's busy doing business, it says, but on Shabbos he's supposed to daven. Not only that, when he davens, when he has a time to daven on Shabbos or other days, he's able to he's in a certain sense, he's able to achieve a level that Yoshvei Oyel, that people that are not busy in the same, you know, headaches and problems can achieve. Why? Because it's particularly there's a number of aspects here. One thing is, you know, Yisra Na'ur Mitech HaChoshech, when you're involved with all the headaches of worldly matters and finally have a chance to learn and daven and appreciate it much more. There's also the Nekudah that Chassidus says, that about one of the things that Chassidus says is that a person being involved in worldly things, he's able to see Riyas Alakus B'Muchash. What does it mean, seeing godliness? Riyas Alakus B'Muchash means he's able to see godliness in a vivid way. What does this mean? No, you know, we don't see angels, we don't see, you know. But to explain the Chassidus, a number of people have a question. They say that in earlier generations there were many more open miracles. Like you opened the Tanakh, you had Eliyahu Navi, Elisha Navi, Moshe Rabbeinu, even the Gemara, even in recent times, you had the Baal Shem Tov, you had this, you had that. There's many things that even today you see miracles, but at least people could claim that it appears to them that in years ago there were many more open miracles. But now, we don't see such open miracles. So it's harder for us to really feel that the Eibusher is here, he's involved in our life, and so on and so forth. So Chassidus answers, it says that might be true, although there's plenty of miracles that do take place. But even if, let's say, that is true to a certain extent, but on another level, on another front, there's a more, so to say, not miraculous interaction with Eibusher, but on a day-to-day level, we see more hashkacha pratis. A person could see, particularly a businessman, he could see hashkacha pratis, he could see that he wanted to make a deal, things that he wasn't able to expect or to plan ahead of time, but it was something that happened, he met this guy here. So if he would look into it, he would see that he doesn't see miraculous things, but he sees as a guiding hand. He could see in his life, he could see hashkacha pratis. And that Chassidus calls Riyas Elokus b'muchash. You see godliness in a vivid way. It means you see in your someone.
Yad Hashem.
You see Yad Hashem in your physical life. So Baal Eisek, in a certain sense, could appreciate much more this.
What about when the Yad Hashem screws it up?
The Yad Hashem doesn't screw it up. It's maybe you think that if you allow the Yad Hashem to take control, maybe it won't screw up. If you try to take it away, so. But anyway, I don't deal with interfaith dialogue issues and helping people. I don't feel qualified to. I work in the sales. I don't work in the customer service department of religion. So.
If you work in the sales, then you need to be able to sell it to us.
So, this is customer service. I could sell to people that don't have issues about it.
That's customer service, that's not sales.
Huh?
So
Customer
sales
service.
is you have to sell it to people that don't believe in it. Customer service is the people that already are in. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, at any rate, but the Rebbe says a very geschmack word. The Rebbe applies, you look in the Baal Shem Tov and Chassidus, it's more to push it, that somebody should use the time of davening, particularly someone that's busy the whole day, he could appreciate the few minutes of davening to really think about what he's saying and to really try to relate to the Eibusher on a practical way, because he sees the Eibusher's interaction in his life. The Rebbe says it on a more fundamental word. The Rebbe says that a boyal ateva, what is the connection between going to the words of davening and the raging waters? A person, all the raging waters, they come from one thing. The waters seem to be very raging. They seem
threatening.
But if you realize that at the end of the day, the Eibusher is behind everything in the world, so then you have a different perspective on everything. So boyal ateva, for a person who will go into the ark, connects to the words of davening and learning, it will save him from the raging waters, because he'll realize there's something much deeper here that's going on. And he'll be able, as the Rebbe says, there's one Maimed, I believe, the Rebbe says, I don't know if it connects with Hebrew, but the Rebbe says the person will realize that the purpose of the raging waters is for one reason why they were created, was that a person should overcome the challenge and serve the Eibusher. So if he really believes that it's being created by the Eibusher for that purpose, he would know that it's impossible at the end of the day. The whole reason why he's there is just to bring out within him the power to overcome it. You understand? So its true purpose is really to help him. So if a person really believes it, so then he will be able to overcome it. So if a person really believes that everything, any challenge that he has is raging of a current of water as it is really created there only for his benefit, for him to overcome, so then he will be able to overcome it, because he knows he doesn't look at the challenge that this is the reality. I have two realities that I have to reconcile. I have the reality of the challenge that I'm facing, the reality of something I was taught in Hebrew school as a kid. But he looks at the reality of this challenge is also the Eibusher. So if a Jew really believes that, so then he has a whole different perspective on overcoming it. So this is on a Baal Esek's way of looking at it. how the davening that he has and the learning that he has helps him. But
how does this connect to Tishrei?
How does this connect to Tishrei is a very, very good question. A very simple level. Right after Tishrei, during Tishrei, you were involved in holy things. Now you hit the raging water. Now you're back day to day, back into Mayim Rabim. It's a whole other word. There's a whole other sicha. The Rebbe connects this thing on a whole different thing. The Rebbe explains there a very, very different twist on the whole thing. Rabbi Chassidus also explains that in a certain explanation and at a certain level, the flood was a very high level. It's a Mayim Rabim, the way there, but the Chassidus explained that the waters of the Mabul the world was flooded with godliness, similar to when it says when Mashiach will come, that godliness will cover, the knowledge of Hashem will cover the earth like water covers the sea. So the Rebbe says, if that's the case, what was the purpose? We know that the end of Parshas Noach has to leave the ark. Yeah, same in that table. So the Rebbe says that in the Yid's Avodah, on a positive note, Tishrei is a big flood in a spiritual sense. From all sides, before you don't know what's hitting you, even Hoshana, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, before you know Sukkot, from Atzeres, and Chasera. And then in Cheshvan, which is actually when the flood was actually over Cheshvan time. I mean, the flood was over earlier, but when Noach left the ark, it was the Cheshvan time. The Eibusher tells Noach, you have to go out of the table. In other words, when the Yid has to know that Tishrei isn't the ultimate. The ultimate is that he has to go back into the world and take all the excitement, all the whatever, the good achlatas that he made on Tishrei and carry it throughout the year. So the going out of Tishrei into the world is similar to going out of the Teva back into the world. Same, on one hand, when you're dealing with real floods, you have to go into the ark. But then there's also the avodah of going out of the ark, of going out from the spiritual flood,
real life,
and deal with real life and being godliness there.
Sorry, not
yeah.
Come, Raisa.
No, Abda the good Shabricho, Sagit, no, we come, many car, we rise, we come, many car, we rise, we come, in the Medo, we come, many car, we rise, we come, in the Medo. No,
the message, and there was two.
Really? Is that crazy? And you didn't see it?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I know.